everyone, welcome to Japan. Today I'm just kind of going to go over some information that I have about Japan amid all of the coronavirus stuff and how we are dealing with it and what we are kind of seeing on a day-to-day basis as people who actually live here. It seemed like when the virus initially broke out, it was kind of weird that Japan seemed to not be affected that much since we are very close to China, where it seemed to be originated from. So it didn't really seem like we were doing a lot of things for it. I mean, I guess people were wearing masks, of course, but that's kind of like a normal thing culturally here anyway, so that wasn't really out of the norm. We maybe just saw more people wearing masks, but there was never really any like big announcement on the news or anything about what we needed to be doing here. The virus was just kind of swept under the rug, it felt like, until recently. The two main things that I know about that I felt kind of got the coronavirus talk in Japan going is that there's a famous comedian who recently died just last week from like complications of coronavirus. His name was Ken Shimura, and he was like always on TV shows and things, and everyone knew him. Akitoshi kind of like said he was probably the most famous person in Japan. So when he died because of it, I think some more people kind of were like, oh, maybe we should take this seriously. And then, of course, you all know that the Tokyo Olympics were postponed until next year. And I feel like we were hiding the number of like cases and deaths here just so that we could have the Olympics happen. I don't like want to say that. I don't really like that the government does that kind of thing, like anywhere, not just in Japan. But when the word got out that the Olympics were canceled, and I believe it was on March 24th, it seemed like suddenly just like a couple days after that, it was like, oh, look at all these new cases in Tokyo and all over Japan, and our numbers like started going up out of nowhere. And I mean, I can only think that's just because we were trying to hide our numbers so that people weren't scared to come to the Olympics, so that the athletes would still come, so that people would still take all of their flights and come in here and watch the Olympics, and it'd be good for our economy and so, whatever. Last night when I was watching the news, they put this graph up on the screen, and I'm gonna put it up here right now while I'm talking. Sorry for the picture, it's kind of crooked, but you can see here that on the bottom, that's like the dates, so March and the beginning of April. And you can see like, oh look, the 24th, the Tokyo Olympics are postponed. And then like right after that, every day there's like a large amount of new cases of the virus in Tokyo. This picture is showing the Tokyo cases. But it just like does seem a little suspicious that it's like, oh, we were all fine in the beginning or middle of March, and then suddenly we have a bunch of new cases. And then Akitoshi has like a news app he's been looking at that shows like each prefecture and the number of deaths and total cases that we have. And so I'm gonna kind of put the pictures up here right now. So I guess in Tokyo on April 1st, it said the total cases were 587. Sorry, I'm reading off my phone. The total cases were 587 and deaths were 16. And then in Aichi, which is the area we live in, cases were 180 and deaths were 18. And then he looked on the app again a couple days later, April 6th, so that was yesterday. In Tokyo, there were 1,033 cases and deaths were 30. And then Aichi cases said 227 and deaths were 20. So just talking about Tokyo, there was like almost double the amount of cases have appeared in 5 days. So I'm not sure if, I mean, maybe it's true. I know the virus spreads really quickly, so could be possible that this all really just happened organically, but it kind of seems like maybe the government and all the people that release these numbers were hiding the amount of cases, and just now they're like slowly releasing the numbers so that it's not all like at once, like, oh look, like 3,000 cases or something like that. It was kind of weird that just like a couple days ago, I believe it was on April 1st, and the day I'm filming this is April 7th, so 6 days ago they had our Prime Minister Abe on the TV, and he was saying things like, at this time I don't feel it's necessary to declare any emergency measures in Japan because our cases aren't bad enough. But then just today, on the 7th, we do have like a national state of emergency released, but only for some prefectures. And I'm gonna read you the list right now of which ones. They are Tokyo, Kanagawa, Saitama, Chiba, Osaka, Hyogo, and Fukuoka. Which is, you know, most of the big areas, but it was kind of odd that where we live in Aichi Prefecture, which is also like, we're pretty big and we're right next to Tokyo, we don't have this state of emergency. And I mean, the national government can't really say that like, oh, the whole country is in a state of emergency. It goes down to each of our own prefectural governments and our governors that they say whether they want this area to have a state of emergency. So the Aichi governor said, no, we don't need one, which I don't know why. Like, it doesn't really make sense. There's no way that our prefecture is less affected than some of like these like smaller ones, like not Tokyo obviously, but the other one. I feel like we're probably in the same realm of cases, honestly. But anyway, we'll see how that changes in the next couple of days. I'm not really sure what declaring a state of emergency means here, like what kind of measures are supposed to be taken. What I did see on the TV last night was another picture. Let me put it up. It was basically saying that people are encouraged to stay inside and you should try not to go out as much. And then the second half of the picture was like, oh, schools and events should be canceled, but they're kind of just like requesting that they be closed and canceled, not necessarily that they need to be, because the government can't say like, you have to close. I guess here, I'm not even really that knowledgeable about government stuff, even in the US, I don't know. But it's really about protecting people's rights here. So like, they can't say like, oh, do this, like we're on lockdown, like, you know, kind of what we're hearing about Italy, like that can't really happen here. So it's all just up to the people. If we want to listen, we'll listen. If they don't want to listen, it'll get worse. So it's really just up to what people feel, like how their perceived notion of the virus is. If they think it's really bad, they'll stay inside. If they're like, whatever, I'm young, I don't care, they'll go out. So we just kind of have to see what everyone decides to do. It does seem like Japan is kind of like a groupthink society, and like they just, if they see something happening, they're like, oh yeah, I want to get in on that. Or like there's lines at the store for like bananas that were on sale, and like everyone started running there. Like I don't even know if they knew that there was a sale that day. They just happened to walk in and they're like, oh my goodness, something's happening. So they like all get in line and they just do what everyone else is doing. So hopefully if people start staying inside and protecting themselves and each other, then everyone will start doing that, because that they will just think that's what's popular to do right now. One more thing that I saw last week was that before all the state of emergency stuff, Abe was on the TV saying he was going to give like 2 masks per household to like 50 million households, or 50 million masks. I don't even know, but he was going to give 2 masks per household. And I was like, what is that even gonna do? Like, why are we spending our money on that? And then when I was on Reddit, I saw like a funny picture about it. Yeah, honestly, like what was giving 2 masks to each house really gonna do? I think tonight, so today's April 7th, I think there's gonna be like a, you know, basically like in America, it's like the presidential address. Like, I think we're gonna have that kind of thing here where Abe's gonna come on and say like, what exactly is going to happen with the state of emergency, like what do we need to do and things like that. So if I see anything interesting tonight, I'm going to add it on to the end of this video, but if not, that's really all the information I have for you. And Akitoshi and I went out, like, it was a couple weeks ago, so I'm sorry that it's like old footage, but we were looking for toilet paper and just going out and kind of showing you what it was like in like the stores and the little like pharmacies, what kind of supplies they had, what they were out of. So I'm just gonna let that run now at the end of the video. So please watch it if you're interested, but if not, thank you for at least staying this long into the video.
We will not run to get toilet paper.
I thought we might as well just kind of like vlog this afternoon. I'm sure something will be interesting for you guys. Plus we actually do need toilet paper, so like it's not a coronavirus joke, we legit need it. So hopefully we can find some, because in a lot of stores it is like sold out.
Like this morning, like there were at least like 20 people lined out up like 30 minutes before the store opened.
Yeah.
So they can get the stuff. And then when we just passed by one of the pharmacies, I think they still had toilet paper outside. So I was like, we need to go.
So we're running.
It's right there. Let's go!
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that what's outside?
I don't know. Why would they keep toilet paper outside is my question.
Yeah, it is. Toilet paper.
Here it is.
Yay!
There is toilet paper in Japan.
This is 25 meters, 12 rolls. This is 30 meters. This is much better.
We need to do some math. We can only get one.
Yeah, we
Is that what that says?
Yeah, one for one family.
If that's the best dimensions.
This is 60 meters. This was better.
All right, got it. What? We can't get that one. It's only cute. It's not functional.
Got bistro.
No mask.
I probably should go to another pharmacy
For what?
for more toilet paper.
we just like drugstore hop today.
No, you're not supposed to.
One per family isn't nothing to us.
No, that's bad. Just get what you need.
We're back in another drugstore. We need to get some other stuff, but like, here's the state of this one's like, are there paper towels? No, just toilet paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is how their toilet paper is going, and also like tissues.
Used to be none, but I finally.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
actually
paper's
surprised to
back.
be seeing some. And here's the paper towel section. It's like sparse. Obviously people are also buying this, but it's not quite as bad as like toilet paper, so. Do they have hand sanitizer?
We can look.
Because I kind of need some. Hand sanitizer is also usually gone. Also, there's no masks in this second store either, so that's great. I don't even know where you're supposed to get them. Like, Akitoshi is supposed to be wearing them to work, so I'm sure a lot of other workplaces are as well, but like, there's never any to buy, so I don't know how they're doing that. They didn't have any hand sanitizer either. I saw a guy wearing gloves. Did you see him? Like, they were like winter gloves. Like, it wasn't, you know, like a surgical glove. He was wearing winter gloves. I'm guessing to protect himself, I guess. But like, I'm hoping he washes those every day. Like, I don't know what he thinks, they're, you know, doing. But yeah, he was just like in the toothpaste aisle, like on the ground with his like big black winter gloves. So
Well,
that's how it is. Yeah.
In their own way.
And then next is grocery store.
Yep.
And then that's basically our out time for the day. Third store of the day. We're not like just going to drugstores. This is like a huge building that has like, I don't know, just like clothes, a dollar store, some drugstore, a grocery store. But yeah, they're also running out of tissues here, and I'm sure toilet paper and other things, wherever those are, I don't know. But
Well, it says toilet paper here, but
yeah,
they
I
have
wondered
tissue.
why that was that.
They have tissue paper in it.
Okay, yeah, over there, no toilet paper and then just a little bit of paper towels, so that's the store. Most people are wearing masks. Like, I try not to put any, like, I try not to get anyone in the background, but like, I'm sure you've seen some, and most of them are wearing masks, but we don't really do that as much. If we're like going somewhere on a trip and we're like gonna sit in the train next to a bunch of people, yeah. Just like in general, I don't want to get sick, but like from anything. But other than that, when we're just out, we're not really doing the mask thing. I just don't like go stand near people that are, I don't know, I don't stand near people that are shopping or go near others that are coughing and things like that, and just don't touch my face as much as I can. But like, when you can't do that, you notice how often you do touch your face. I had like something in my eye in the last drugstore, but I was like, oh, I shouldn't do it. Just leaving the grocery store now. I guess this vlog kind of turned into like a little bit of like a coronavirus update, I guess. I don't know. Not that in depth, but I guess at the grocery store we got like a bunch of like frozen foods and, you know, kind of like the noodle and soup mix just to have that basically never goes bad. So, and we don't really have like that much food in our house anyway because we're still kind of on a little bit of a weird schedule, and like I'm not always home, like at my home a whole bunch. I kind of hang out with his family a lot right now. So we needed it anyway, but good to have just because, I don't know, we never know really what's gonna happen with all the virus stuff. We'll be prepared, I guess.
For a week.
Yeah. If you eat all of it. If he eats at home, then it's all gonna go away. I'm still not gonna be at our house too much this week, so what?
He has toilet paper.
We need to follow him. But yeah, so I think this is really the end of this vlog. It was kind of random and whatever, but hopefully something was informative or you liked it, I guess.